Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Casey's Crazy Creative Kitchen, or Cool Beans Kitchen. I don't know, we didn't sort the name yet. It doesn't matter because we're gonna make some food. Yeah! So the first question, as always, what are we gonna make? Which always leads to the second question of, well, what do we have? So we have, to make a food today, bread, ooh, pizza bases. So we're gonna make pizza! Yay! Pizza! So I'm gonna start putting the ingredients over here where you can see them. So the first thing you're gonna want when you have a pizza base is pizza sauce, because you can't make a good pizza without some pizza sauce to smear all over the pizza base. So now we've got our pizza sauce, we need to figure out a base, a bit of a something to go on the bottom of the pizza. There's lots of things you can use. I personally think that we're going to use spaghetti. We're going to make a spaghetti pizza, because why not? So this is an extra cheesy spaghetti by Heinz. Now if you're in New Zealand, you might want to use Wattie's spaghetti. But we're in Australia, and Australia doesn't have Wattie's. I've never tried the Heinz the spaghetti before, so we're gonna try that and see if it works out. Because if it doesn't, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna eat it anyway. So we're gonna want, for our pizza, cheese. We're gonna want cheese. So we've got Colby slices and strong and bitey vintage slices. But as always, that's not enough cheese. So we're going to grab more cheese. We're going to grab some tasty cheese. Ooh, tasty. And we've also got some Australian vintage aged cheddar slices. So that's some fancy cheese. But we're still missing a cheese, because you can't make a pizza without a very specific cheese. So that's not enough cheese. We're going to want some mozzarella. Mozzarella is the good pizza cheese. And shaved Parmesan too, because why not? There's no such thing as too much cheese. So now we've got a bunch of cheese. We've got a bunch of pizza bases, spaghetti. I'm going to add a special sauce. I recently went and picked up a new American barbecue sauce with traditional smoky flavour. And I'm excited to use that, so that's going in there as well. And the last thing we're going to want is meat, because I like meat. So we're going to, ooh, okay. So we're going to make spaghetti pizza, and we're going to use Devon, also known as luncheon, also just known as meat slices, lunch meat, whatever. And I've also just found some double smoked, thinly sliced leg ham. So that's going to be nice. So we've got meat, we've got cheese, we've got pasta, spaghetti bases. Oh God. Anyway, so the first step to making a pizza is preheating your oven. Now if you have a look at our oven, you'll see that I have a pizza stone. So the pizza stone is really good because it heats up, and then when you put the pizza base on it, it's already hot underneath and you can cook it through from both sides. It's great. So we're going to want to turn the oven to on, and we want the heat to be around, I don't know, 180. About 180 should be fine. So now that we've got the oven preheating, let's go prepare our pizza. Yeah! So we're going to want to start off by getting out the pizza base. So we need to figure out how to open this packet, because it turns out it's a bit more tricky than I thought. This packet does not seem to want to open. Come on. Damn you, I'm going to get scissors. Hang on a moment. There you go. So the first thing you want to do is open up your pizza bag, where your pizza bases are. Great. It only opened, there we go. So you grab out your pizza base and put it on a little plate. Put your other base aside so that you can make another pizza again later. Now we're going to want to use some pizza sauce. Yay! So you just kind of squirt some pizza sauce on there. I don't know if that's enough. We'll find out. You just sort of smear that shit around. You want that to go all across the pizza. You're going to smear it here and smear it there, smear it everywhere. And that's how you get started making a pizza. So it looks like that wasn't enough sauce. That's okay. You can always add more sauce, but you can't remove sauce easily. So it's better to use not enough than too much. You want your sauce to go all the way to the edge. You want it to go all the way around to the edge of your pizza so that even if you get to the crust, when you're eating your pizza, there's still a bit of flavour in it. Nobody likes a bland crust. There's a reason why crust is the least eaten piece of a pizza. That's because they don't make it interesting enough. That's why they've got to come out with, you know, cheesy crust and tasty crust and all of these fancy crusts. So if you can get your sauce right out to the crust, then people will still want to eat the crust when they get there. It'll be great. And you think, oh, but when I try and eat the pizza, I'm going to get sauce all on my fingers when I'm trying to hold the pizza. No, because the crusty part of the pizza, the sauce sort of dries on there, and then it's not going to stick all on your fingers. Besides, who's eating pizza to have bloody hygiene anyway? If you don't want to get dirty fingers, then don't be eating a pizza to begin with. So now we're going to open up our extra cheesy spaghetti. Again, I didn't shake this ahead of time. Normally you should shake your tin to make it slop out easier, but we probably don't want to use the entire tin's worth. We're probably fine with just using half of the tin of spaghetti, and we can find a use for the other half later. So we're going to scoop out some of the spaghetti, and then we're going to just spread that around, make a nice little thin layer of spaghetti. Okay, we could probably use a bit more spaghetti. There's not too much spaghetti already here. So let's keep using some spaghetti. It's fine. The trick is don't use too much spaghetti, because otherwise you're going to end up with a very spaghetti-ish dish after the fact, and it's going to become a bit sloppy. You just want a nice thin layer of spaghetti, because that way it'll hold it in its place. But if you use too much, then you end up with it starts to slop all over the place, and your whole pizza just kind of falls apart and becomes a horrible sloppy mess. So there we go. We've got a nice thin, evenly spread layer of spaghetti around, and that should hold quite nicely, I think. Especially once we add a bunch of cheeses and meats and stuff to it, it's going to be great. So now we're going to want to add some extra bits and bobs. So I'll just put the knife there and put that out of the view of the camera for now. So now that we've got the pizza base already, I think it's time that we add some secret ingredients. So like last time, we've got mushrooms. So here is some mushrooms. So we're going to use our mushroom cooking technique that I showed you last time, and a couple of extra secret ingredients that I forgot to mention, like oregano or oregano. I've got chopped chives, and I'm even going to be a bit fancy and throw in some garlic granules. Sure, why not? So let's go get on with all of that now. So as you may recall, with the mushrooms, we're going to want to chop them into little slices. Not sure if this is the best knife for the job. As always, might not be the best knife. Why is it always the wrong knife that I go and grab? Right, well anyway, you chop it up into bits, then you chop the bits in half. Come on, don't break your silly mushroom. Right, I'm going to try and chop that one more time. Right, then we're going to chop the mushroom in half. We're going to put it into this funny little dish thing right here. And we're going to add a dash of wine and some slithers of butter. And then, hey, bada bing, we're going to have mushrooms already. Now, I probably should have chopped the mushroom a bit more thin for a pizza. You know, usually mushroom is quite thin. I've chopped it a bit thick. But that's okay, because mushroom shrinks. So maybe it'll all work out in the end. So I'm going to grab this mushroom, going to put it in here, going to chop it up into all these little bits, and Now we've got the mushroom in here. We're going to add a little bit of butter and a dash of wine, microwave it, and then we're going to have mushrooms to add to our pizza. So just going to add a little bit of butter. Come on, just a little bit of butter. There should be enough butter. It's probably too much butter. I definitely used too much butter last time, but that's okay. So now we're going to go get a bit of wine. So we've got our mushroom and our butter. Time to add a dash of wine to it. Here we go, got a nice big cask of wine. Just add a little dribble. There we go, just a nice little dribble of wine just in the bottom of that. Now we've got to go and glad wrap this. Time to glad wrap it, yeah! So we've got our thing here. So now we're just going to take some glad wrap. Try and pull it out of the weird glad wrap holder. Got to be careful because glad wrap is kind of tricky sometimes. It likes to all sort of stick together. It's called cling wrap, not glad wrap. I think glad wrap's what we call it in New Zealand because we're glad when we use it. But here they call it cling wrap. I don't know why. And we're going to just sort of wrap this thing up, with the goal being to try and get it sort of airtight. But obviously I'm not doing the best job of that, but look at that. It's all sealed up, that's the point. So we've sealed this, now it can go in the microwave. We're going to microwave that, put the cling wrap away, and now we can move on with the next thing. So now the mushrooms seem to be done in the microwave. So we've got our mushrooms all cooked, and as you can see it sort of vacuum sucked it in because of the heat. So the mushrooms are good. So now we've got our spaghetti pizza, spaghetti's on it, we've got our mushrooms cooked and handy, and we've got some little secret ingredients over here. We're going to add a little bit of chopped chives, so I recommend that you sprinkle it on your hand, and then you can sort of sprinkle it around from there, get a nice even coating of that. Probably do with a little bit more. Who doesn't like some chopped chives? I mean, some people, no doubt, but some people like it, and that's me, so that's what we're doing. So there you go, chopped chives, garlic granules. So we're going to add a little bit of garlic to this. Again, I recommend putting it in the hand, and then you can just sort of sprinkle it around as you desire. Just try and get a nice even spread. You don't want any particular piece to be more garlicky than another, so you can just sort of sprinkle it across, adding your garlic granules as you desire. I probably added too many garlic granules. It's going to be a little bit of a garlicky dish, whatever. And then we've got our oregano, or oregano. Somebody was making fun of me for how I pronounced oregano. Oh, it's oregano. Yeah, well, bugger you, so I'm the chef, and I'll call it whatever I want. Right, so we're adding just a dash of that, whatever it's called, just a sprinkle of that around. And if anybody else ever calls it oregano, let me know, because I'd like to rub it in somebody's face. Right, so we've done all of that. Now it's time to add some meat. So I've got a little bit of spaghetti on the meat packet here. That's okay, I can just wipe that off. Right, so we've got some Devon. So I'm going to tear this up into little bits and just sort of liberally add some little bits all over it, you know. Just put a little bit here, a little bit there. Just spread it around. You know, you want it in lots of little bits. Now, of course, there's an important step when you're preparing food that I didn't mention ahead of time in any of my episodes, but always wash your hands. If you're going to be doing this and ripping up little bits of meat or lettuce or any other thing with your hands, you're going to want to make sure you have clean hands. Nobody wants a dirty pizza. Nobody wants dirty burritos. Nobody wants dirty anything. So make sure you wash your hands, and then you're free to tear meat into little shreds and just add them all over across the pizza. And yeah, there we go. We're getting there now. Look at that. Got a pizza with lots of little bits of meat all over it. Woohoo! It looks nice. Looks good. Got our sprinkling of this and that. Adding a bit of meat here, there, and everywhere. And there you go. We've added some Devon for luncheon. Now we've got that double smoked glazed ham. So let's try and open this. There you go. Now, do we want 1 bit or 2 bits? I guess we're going with 2 bits of smoked ham because that's how many I pulled out. So we're just going to put 1 bit into that hand. And again, we're going to want to tear it up into little bits. We don't want too many bits all in one place. You want your flavors to be spread evenly across the pizza, because you want every slice to matter. You want every slice to be filled with a little bit of spice and a little bit of meat and a lot of cheese. Just a joyous pizza all around, if I do say so myself. And I do, because I'm the chef and that's how the show works. So we're just going to keep adding the double smoked glazed ham until we've got it across the whole pizza. And then we're going to get on with the cheese. Or we could do the mushrooms. Yeah, probably the mushrooms next, because you probably want the cheese to be the top layer, because that's how you can evaluate how your pizza's cooking when it's in the oven, is you keep an eye on the cheese, and you want the cheese to sort of become golden and brown and toasty, you know. So there we go, we're about done with the meat. So now we're going to want to pull out our mushrooms. Although I'm just going to quickly go wash my hands first. Right, I've washed my hands, and now it's mushrooms time. So you unwrap your mushrooms, and you have a look at them. They look mushroomy, sure, why not? Now we're going to want to, possibly before the mushrooms, add our sauce. We have this American barbecue sauce, so we're just going to add a little bit of barbecue here, there, and everywhere, just to add even more smoky flavour. And now it's mushroom time. So, going to add a bit of mushroom here, there, and everywhere. Again, you want to try and spread your ingredients evenly across your pizza. You don't want any particular ingredient to dominate any particular slice. So you just want to put them a little bit here, there, and everywhere. Now the trick with the mushrooms is to try not to get too much of the sauce, because even though I only put that much butter and that much wine, there seems to be a hefty amount of sauce floating around in the bottom of this. I don't think you can see it. Never mind. Point is, there's some sauce in there. Some delicious mushroom sauce that the chef can enjoy after the video ends. But you just put your little mushroom slices as evenly as you can across the pizza. Just try and make sure you don't miss any particular place on the pizza, because again, you want it to be as evenly spread as you can. You want there to be a bit of mushroom here, there, and everywhere, just like with the meat. You don't want any piece too close together, and you don't want any piece too far apart. Just want to try and get a nice, even amount spread across the pizza. And there you go. You've added your mushrooms, your meats. You've got a nice little container of sauce there now. A nice buttery, winey garlic, well, not garlic, but mushroom, cheese. So we're going to start off with these fancy cheese slices, because they're the harder part out of this. So I'm going to start off with this vintage aged cheddar. So I'm going to grab out a slice of that, fold it in half, it breaks apart almost immediately, and we're just going to start spreading cheese across the pizza. Just sort of crumbles in your hands because it's aged and vintage and fancy and all of that. So you just break up your cheese into lots of little bits, spread it around. It's the same concept as every other ingredient. You don't want any piece too thick, you don't want any piece too thin. You just want to try and spread it as evenly as you can across the entire top of the pizza. You want a little bit here and a little bit there, and you just want to get as much cheese on there as you physically can. So there you go. Oh, we've still got another half. So we're going to add even more aged vintage cheddar, because, I don't know, we grabbed a whole slice, so I guess a whole slice is what we're having. So you want to try and avoid getting the ingredients too close to the edge, but you do want them to be at the edge, because again, you don't want a boring crust. Nobody wants to eat a boring crust. Everyone wants the crust to be delicious, and that way edible. Right, so we've used that slice of the aged vintage. Now we've got a tasty cheese, so we're going to go with the tasty cheese slice next. I don't know if I'm going to end up using all of the various slices of cheese, because I don't think there is such a thing as too much cheese, but if there is, we're going to achieve that here today. So I'm going to go a bit more bigger pieces with the tasty, because you know it's tasty cheese. It's just a regular sort of a cheese. It's not too fancy. You don't need to spread it around as much. You can just sort of flop it on there. That's fine. That's fine. Getting impatient. Impatience is a key part of cooking. Right, so we've done our tasty cheese. Now we're going to go with the Colby. Sure, why not? Many cheeses equals happy pizza. So we're going to grab out a piece of Colby from out of the packet, although it doesn't seem to want to come. Get out of there. There you go. So now we've got a nice Colby cheese as well. Sure, why not? Again, you still want to try and spread it around if you can. You don't want one area to contain too much of one flavour of cheese. You want all of the cheeses to be spread around so that the pizza has a nice even mix, you know. You don't want it to just taste like cheese. You want it to taste like a variety of cheese. Now I think we're going to pass on the strong and bitey vintage. We already used the aged cheddar. Nope, I've changed my mind. Strong and bitey vintage sounds great. Let's do it. It's going to be great. So we're going to grab out a slice of this. Come on, you. Right, we've got our slice of that now. Again, we're going to just fold it in half, fold it in half, in half, and in half. And then you can start spreading those around. We're going to just get an entire layer. We're going to cover this entire pizza in cheese. This entire pizza, the top layer is just going to be cheese. And that's okay, because cheese melts when you put it in the oven. Just like the mushrooms melt when you cook them, or not melt, but shrink, the cheese sort of shrinks a little bit too when it gets cooked. It all sort of, you know, it liquefies and it all kind of goes to the lowest point. And it's going to be great. We're going to have such a cheesy pizza. Who doesn't love a ridiculously cheesy pizza? Now, the most important cheese for a pizza, the mozzarella. So this mozzarella cheese is just going to be spread all over the top of the pizza. We want the entire pizza to be covered with this mozzarella cheese, because the mozzarella cheese is the stringy cheese that makes the pizza sort of have that nice stringy cheese texture to it when you bite into your slice of pizza. You definitely want to have a stringy cheesy pizza, and it's a classic. It's a classic. It's almost designed for pizzas and other various Italian dishes where you want it to be stringy cheese, a bit of a gloopy, sticky cheese, you know. When it melts, it's going to be great. Now we just want to add just a dash to the center of the pizza, because the center of the pizza is obviously where you pull all the various slices apart. You know, if you chop your pizza up correctly, then that's going to be sort of the middle of the pizza. And if you have too much of the mozzarella there, then all your pieces are going to try and stick together. So you really want it to be more around the outer rim. You want your outer layer of the pizza to be heavily mozzarella, and you don't want it to be too heavily focused right in the dead center, because again, otherwise all the bits are all going to try and stick. So you do want to make sure you do get every piece of the pizza with your mozzarella. You want to go intense on your mozzarella. You don't want your pizza to be lacking in mozzarella. You can get mozzarella right out to the edges of the crust as well, because mozzarella, when it sort of dries and hardens, it'll sort of stick there, and then you've got a delicious. It's almost like a cheesy crust, but with the cheese on the crust, not in the crust. So we've added mozzarella to basically the whole pizza. I mean, I don't see any spots where I've missed, but it is possible that we've missed some spots. But you can never go too much on the mozzarella. I suppose you can, because otherwise your whole thing becomes one big cheesy, sticky mess. But there you go. That's probably about enough for the mozzarella. We're going to seal that up. It's a resealable bag. And finally, just for a bit of added perfect Italiano, some shaved Parmesan. So we're going to grab out some shaved Parmesan, and it's already broken up into little bits. So we're just going to try and sprinkle them evenly across the pizza, just sort of trying to just cover our tracks where all the other cheeses were. Going to add a little bit more. It's alright. lots of cheese. Everybody loves a cheesy pizza, and if you don't love a cheesy pizza, then that's fine too. But this is my pizza. It's a spaghetti pizza, mostly spaghetti and cheese, but with a dash of meat and a dash of mushroom. Right, now we've prepared the pizza, it's time to see if our oven is preheated, and if the oven is ready, it's time to cook the pizza. So now, as you can see, we've got the oven preheated to, what does this say? We've got a thing here, oh, it's hot too. Right, it says that we have it at just over 200. That seems a little bit high. Probably just turn that down a little bit. But whatever, we're happy enough. So we're going to pull out our pizza stone. And, geez, it's hot. Grab our pizza. We're going to try and take off the glove, because the glove isn't helping me. Right, and we just sort of want to slide the pizza onto the pizza stone and close up the oven. And now we just sit here and keep an eye on it until the cheese is melted. So when the cheese is all melted and golden and good across the top, then we know that the pizza's ready. So that's what we're going to do now. Let's go and do that. Yay! So as you can see, the cheese has started to melt. And we have a nice layer of melted cheese right here. But it hasn't turned that sort of golden, crispy amount that we want it to have. So we're going to have to wait a bit longer and keep an eye on this pizza. So as you can see now, some of the cheese has started to run off of the edge of the base and start to sort of go over the edge of the crusting and bubble on the actual pizza stone. So what this means is either one, I used too much cheese, or two, that I put the cheese too close to the edge of the well, what do you call it? The crust. That's okay, we wanted cheesy crust, didn't we? Yay! Cheesy crust! Yay! So now you can see that it's starting to bubble right across the pizza base, right across the crust line, which isn't good. It's not what we wanted, but it hasn't quite goldened across the top of the pizza here yet. We're going to want to wait a little bit longer and try and get that nice golden colour across the top. You can see a little bit of the golden colour along the edging here, as that part's sort of, I guess, cooked unevenly to the rest of the pizza. But it should be only a minute or two remaining now, and this pizza should be ready to go. I can see little pockets of gold appearing around where sort of the mushroom is sitting, but we want to try and get a nice even layer of gold if we can, and if we can't, I'll call it in a minute or two. So let's wait and see how it turns out. Alright, I've decided to call the pizza there. It's probably within the realm of being ready. So we're going to just grab that out of there using our oven mitts. Now the good thing about using a pizza stone is that you can just pick up the entire stone and put it up here. And we turn off our oven, and now we've got a pizza sitting here. Now as you can see, there's some sort of golden browny bits around the outside. It might just sort of look like the spaghetti, but I assure you that it's got some good toasty bits. Now I'm just going to try and spatula up these bits that have come along the rim, because we've got quite a bit of cheese that sort of stuck itself down to the rim, and we don't want that. So it's best to unstick it now while it's still all quite hot. So we're just going to move our way around the pizza, making sure to pick up any bits of cheese that have come loose. Now you don't want to touch the pizza stone with your raw hand, because otherwise your hand won't be raw anymore, it'll be cooked. Quite a lot of cheese spills just right here, so we're just going to kind of just try and maneuver our way underneath that. And there we go, now it's not stuck down anymore, and if you can just sort of flip the cheese back up into the pizza. Sure, why not? Get a bit of a crusty cheese edging. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, so we've got the pizza here now. So what we're going to want to do next is slice the pizza. So you get one of these fancy little pizza rollers, and then you just sort of roll it across your pizza. Now again, I recommend doing this while the pizza's fresh, because that way you have less resistance. But some people prefer to do it when the pizza's, you know, a little bit cooled. Now this is not the most effective pizza roller I've ever used, but I think we might have it. Is it? There you go. Yep, you can see there that it's split. So just going to push the pizza back together, rotate it, rotate that pizza. Now some people put them in eighths, some people put them in sixths, some people put them straight in halves. I'm going to sort of aim for sixths. I like my pizza slices to be not too small, but also not too big. So we're just going to want to try and start at the base and work your way towards the center. That way you don't push the ingredients off onto the base. Right, so we've chopped that one there, and we've chopped this one there. Right, get that off of there. Rotate the pizza base, and now we've just got one more incision to make. So again, you want to try and make sure you break the crust and work towards the center. Now this will vary from pizza to pizza and from pizza stone to pizza stone, but the science is still the same. You want to try and sort of just chop the pizza, aiming at chopping the base, because that's the tough part, especially around the crust. And then you just sort of want to work your way towards the center of the pizza so that all of your slices can then be easily separated after the fact. Now, what you want to do is probably, if you're planning on eating it immediately, you dish it up immediately. But if you're not planning on eating it immediately, you want to put it onto a microwave safe dish so that it can be microwaved and cooked up and eaten for later. So as you can see, I've got a slice here ready to eat, and I can come back to the rest of that later. And so that's how you make a spaghetti pizza. So thanks for watching Pizza, or Casey, whatever. I still don't have the name of the show down. It's Cool Beans Kitchen. Yeah, we're just going to call it that. That's going to be the name. Whatever. But thanks for watching. I'm HeadCasey. Make sure to like, subscribe, stay tuned, and enjoy cooking yourself some good food. Thanks for watching. Bye!